The news, good evening. A new case of COVID-19 has been recorded in the country. This is a 26-year-old man who works as a ground handling staff at the Seychelles International Airport who has tested positive for the virus. The individual reported to the Oswayal Health Facility located in the District Administration Office last Friday. He was consulted by a physician and prescribed medication. According to the Department of Health, after the visit, the individual went home but began experiencing more acute symptoms yesterday. The rapid response team of the Department of Health was deployed and the individual was admitted at the isolation center at Perseverance in the evening for further testing. Contact tracing and other appropriate follow-up has already begun. The total number of confirmed cases in Seychelles is now 11. There will be another live presidential address tonight at 8 o'clock. President Danny Faure is expected to provide an update on the coronavirus crisis and the Seychelles economy. His address will be live on Paradise FM, Radio Sicile, YouTube, and television from 8 p.m. on SBC One. The Department of Health is advising family members that they will no longer accept small packages to hand over to people in quarantine or isolation on Fridays. These items should be delivered to the Nursing Directorate at the Red Roof Building at the Seychelles Hospital from Monday to Thursday only from 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. The ministry responsible for fisheries has announced several measures which will assist fishermen during this COVID-19 pandemic. The plan and measures are for the next 3 months. Amongst the measures are that artisanal fishermen will now be able to sell fish to the STC, which in turn will sell the fish to its customers.
We give them reduction on baits, ice, and there's a natural reduction in fuel as well, so as to make the cost lower, because we've set some limits on the price of fish. We've had some species like red snapper, which is premium, and then there's Job fish, VA, and Captain Blanc, which is the middle, and then Kang at the bottom. So we set some prices, and those prices reflect the reduction in the overall reduction we've assumed within the bait, ice, and fuel. But there are some issues with some fishermen saying that it's not enough. But naturally, we cannot satisfy everybody. We're trying our best to ensure two things: that they don't lose out, number one, and at the same time, we do have fish available for the market.
The National Assembly will be meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. for the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill 2020. The session will start at 9 a.m. The Chinese philanthropist Jack Ma says he's sending another consignment of life-saving medical supplies for distribution among Africa's 54 countries. This also includes Seychelles. In a tweet from his charitable foundation, Mr. Ma said he's donating 500 ventilators, 200 protective suits and face shields, thousands of thermometers, swabs, and surgical gloves. Nearly 2 weeks ago, an Ethiopian Airlines flight brought in the Seychelles share of the first consignment sent by the Alibaba shopping website founder. The donation, coordinated by the African Union, contained more than 1 million testing kits, along with millions of face masks and other personal protective equipment for medical staff. The Catholic Church has announced its program for the Holy Week. All services will be broadcast on radio and TV with the aim of minimizing the risk of the spread of the COVID-19. The Bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Port Victoria, the Denivier, says that all services are being pre-recorded and then they will be broadcast as from Holy Thursday up to Easter Sunday.
Thursday, 9th of April, the screening will be at 7 p.m. on SBC3 and 8 p.m. on Télé Seychelles. Friday morning, At 9 o'clock in the morning, there will be the Way of the Cross, which is retransmitted. And then Friday afternoon at 3 p.m., there will be the Passion of Jesus, read from the Gospel, and then the veneration of the Holy Cross. Holy Saturday Vigil, Easter Vigil, will be on Saturday, the 11th of April, at 8 p.m. on SBC3, Télé Seychelles, and Radio Seychelles at 8 p.m. And finally, Easter Sunday at 9 a.m., Radio Seychelles will give the Mass, the Easter Mass, and 10 a.m. SBC3 and Télé Seychelles. So these are the times for the ceremonies for Holy Week.
And Bishop Vier is seeking the permission of the Commissioner of Public Health to resume funeral services in the church. He says this follows confusion from many mourners who are also not satisfied with the current arrangements whereby the body of the deceased is taken straight to the cemetery with the priest saying some prayers before the body is buried.
The ministry is considering my request, and I hope by tomorrow they will give an answer to my request concerning the holding of funeral services in the church. But of course, as I told Dr. Gédéon, we will observe all the requirements that the ministry has put forward if these ceremonies are held, with social distancing, not kissing, even though it's a funeral, not kissing close friends and family, and not coming too numerous. We try to restrict the number of people present.
And with this, we've come to the end of this news summary. Thanks for watching.